evening and welcome back to another Celica video, and in this video we're going to carry on troubleshooting the electrics, see if we can find out why the ignition don't come on. And to help me with this troubleshooting, I've bought a power probe on Amazon, so I'll just get this open. Don't really have to make do with a Stanley knife because I left the folding knife in the house. I'm not exactly where it is, but anyway, let's get this. Should really change a blade in this. This is what I bought, the Celica test probe. So just get it out of the box. Everybody likes a good unboxing. It even comes its own carry case, which is quite handy. And this is what we get. Put that to one side. Got some instructions, but we won't worry about them. So here's the actual probe itself. So look at that. And the bit it screws into, this screws in. The bit you point at. And just get all this unravelled. And I'll basically explain what does what. So just get all this unravelled a bit. And basically what it does is you can either apply power or ground to there. So you can actually supply a voltage. You got the two clips here which connect to your battery positive and negative terminals, and you'll be wondering what this other clip is. Well, what you can do is you can test components off the car. So you have the power probe hooked up to your battery, you will hook up one end of your component. This is an earth. You apply power to the other side and you can test a component quite easily. So I think what we need to do is to get this hooked up to the Celica. We'll try applying power to some of these ignition fed circuits and see if they actually take power. So I'll get this hooked up and I'll get back to you. So anyway, we're in the footwell. I'm going to try applying power to go for the indicator one there. That's 10 amps. That's a red fuse in the middle. Let's see if it. And yes, you can hear the indicator working. But just try it for the left, for the right indicator. So there's power going through the indicator circuit. So we know that's working. I could hear indicator clicking. So we're just trying to run these circuits. And we'll try the one for the gauge. Yeah, gauges are working, I can see it from here. Yep. So we get the circuits are fine. So it's definitely looking like this ignition switch, which is a pig to get to. What else should we try? There's not anything else to try really. But I think we can safely say the circuits themselves are fine. So we'll put that back on. And we'll concentrate our attention on getting to this ignition switch. So this has proved very useful as a power probe. So let's I'm going to turn my attention to getting to this ignition switch. So if we go back to this flow diagram, and we applied power to that fuse and the gauges, and it's working. So obviously the problem is between the ignition switch and that fuse board. Now I'll see if I've got any other diagrams I can well, that's the one we need to test the ignition switch. What we're charging or starting an ignition. Let's see if we can find something that has the indicators in it. No engine control, it won't be that. That's out because we did apply power to there. And we were getting live to here, to the ECU, so we know that's working. What did I do? Doesn't try the ignition, but there's nothing there for indicators from power source. Let's have a look. I think this might tie in. These might tie it. Will tie in from here. So, yep, because we know there was we applied power there at the beginning of the fuse and the turn as well. So yeah, it's looking like the ignition switch. Let's have a look. So that goes. So turn and gauge. There's nothing here for indicators. I know somebody said it only applies to 3S GT, but I would imagine all of Gen 5 Celicas are the same. But it's looking like there's our it's going to be ignition switch. So we need to get this out of the way, and then we can get to the ignition switch and test it. So I'll do that off camera. Unfortunately, my lights died, so I'll need to put that on charge. Well, I managed to get this off, and I had to get this part of I had to prise the speaker grill off, and there was a screw there. Once that screw was undone, I managed to get all that out. And there's a duct here for the for this vent, for this side vent. Pull that out, and I can get to the ignition components now. It looks like there's been something's been going on here before. So I just need to get to the ignition switch, which this looks like it is, and get that tested. It looks like we've got something's going on here. So what I'll do is I'll try try a bit of a wiggle, see if I can wiggle stuff here. This looks like the ignition switch. Yeah, I think something's been going on before. Don't know what. Just trying various wiggle tests. So nothing obvious. and you can hear the relay clicking. But I don't think there's any fuses or connections. So anyway, I think this is the ignition switch. Let's see if I can get it tested. Okay, it's now the next night. I managed to get the steering wheel off. That was quite easy. No, and I did not get it in my face like some people do. I did leave the nut on, a couple of threads, and I managed to free it off. And I managed to get the last 2 screws out here, so I just need to get this out, and then I can get this instrument panel out and maybe see if it is that bulb for ignition. So I'll do that off camera because I don't know how long it's going to take. So I'll come back to you when I got a bit further on this one. I think it's just a few screws, 2 at the bottom, one at the top there, top right. I think there might be one at the top left. The thing is, I can't really do the reach round, so that's not an option. This instrument panel needs to come out, so I'll get that done. Well, I managed to get the instrument cluster out. I found the bulb for the this is the ignition one. Just you see it shining through. There we go. I've checked this bulb, put a bit of power to it, and it's working. So it's definitely not a blown bulb. So that's something else eliminated. Now I've got to get all this back in. I thought I'd check these other bulbs while they were out. And everything's alright, so that can go back in. I need to turn my attention elsewhere. Well, I've got it all buttoned up, and we're still back to where we were before, and there's power getting through the ignition fuse, but I don't know why the light's not coming on. You know, the ignition light should be coming on, but see, there's still nothing. So I'm going to try and investigate this ignition switch a bit further. I found out that this wire, the red and black, it's on the plug, and that's the brown on the ignition switch. That's your live feed. So that's all I've established so far. So I'll just need to get this unplugged. It's getting late now, so I'll have to leave it for another time. So it's now a bit more time later. Actually, I managed to disconnect the connector from the ignition switch. But before I show you that, I just want to show you something on the wiring diagram. Now, if everything's working, there should be power to AM1 and AM2. AM1's your white wire, and AM2 is the black and red wire. So if everything's working, there should be power to both of them. So I'll take you inside the car and I'll show you what I mean. So here's the connector to the ignition switch, which plugs into there. I've got my power probe. Hope you can see it there. So these 2 wires here, AM1 and AM2, there's your black and red and your white. So if I put the power probe to there, you can see we've got voltage. So if this is working, this should be the same. And as you can see, there's no voltage coming from this white wire. So we need to trace that back on the wiring diagram and see which of the fuses supplies. Well, not supplies it, but which fuses for that particular wire. So we'll go back to his wiring diagram, and I'll show you what I mean. So back to the wiring diagram, and it's fuse AM1. And that's 40 amp, that's one of the main fusible links. I believe that's in the engine bay. We'll just have a look for it, see if we can find that particular fusible link. And sure enough, here we are, that's the AM1 fuse, 40 amps, which will be this green one. So we'll just pull that out, and we'll be able to test this with power probe. We can test it off the car, so we'll give this fusible link a test to the AM1. I'll just grab my power probe, and we'll do a quick test. So what I've made is I've made up a couple test probes. It's just a big paper clip. So what we'll do, we'll test that, make sure that works. Yep, that works. So we'll just clip this on, See, with this power probe, you've got the extra earth, and you can test stuff off the car. So we'll just put the test probe in. If it works, yeah, our fuse is good. So that's not where the problem is. So we need to test if there's a live in the fuse. Actually, I meant in the fuse box. So I'm not sure which is the live side. So we'll just go with this. Yep, that's live. And there's something there. I'm not sure what. So what we'll do is we'll do a voltage test. There seems to be continuity. So we'll go. Ah, right. With nothing there at all. Should be some. We should be getting something there. So that means there's no power reaching our fuse. So we'll go back to the wiring diagram. So we know this fuse is good, and it doesn't seem to be supplying any power to it. There doesn't seem to be any power getting to it, and that'd explain why we're getting nothing at all up to the ignition switch. So if we know that fuse is good, and we're not detecting any voltage here, which would have me think that 100 amp fusible link isn't working, but unfortunately we can't test that. I mean, we can test if there's voltage going through the fuse with the power plug, because I did break the top, clear cover off that blue fusible link. So we'll just test for voltage. Well, I think we've actually found the problem. I'll just have a look. I'll just show you. I don't know how well you can see in the camera with the fusible link, but I can actually test on both sides. So if I test that side, you can see I'm getting voltage, but if I put it in at the other side, I'm getting nothing at all. So I think it's actually, oh yeah, I've just bridged it with power probe. Yeah, and it seems to be working. I bet if I bridge that with my power probe, it'll all come back to life. I mean, I did try to pull it out before. I ended up breaking fuse, but anyway, we'll just put everything back together. We'll just test our little theory out. It's just a proof of concept, really. And if that's a problem, then we just need a replacement. Well, this is going to be a bit of an awkward thing to get out, but I'll do a quick proof of concept. If we just put that on there, I've got the kit. I've plugged the connector in for the ignition switch. Turn the ignition on, and let's see what we get. We apply power to this. Oh, since we've got this unplugged, we could apply just power straight to the wire. So that's one side. Just power to that side. It must be the other side of the blue wire. White wire, not blue wire. I don't want to get blue from. So, which I presume will be this one. If we just apply voltage. No, so we can't test that way. So I'm going to carry on pulling this fusible link out and try applying power from there, see if that's a problem. Well, I've got this plastic out and down at the fuse box, but there's something here. I don't know what's stopping it, but I think I know why. I think down here there's a little nut there, and I think there's one at that side for these two white wires. There for the there we go, the 100 amp fusible link. I need to take them screws out and I need to get to them. So I'm not going to do it on this video. I'm going to end this video here, and I'll come back to it in the next part of this little no crank no start saga. So I'm going to leave it at that for this video. Hope you enjoyed this one. think we're getting somewhere. I need to get one of those fusible links. so I should be able to get hold of one somewhere, even if it's a used one. And there is a Toyota Breakers parts down in Cornwall. They'll definitely have what I need. So please remember to like, subscribe, share, ring that notification bell, comments and questions, you know how to put them. As ever, thanks for watching and I'll see you.